Today's podcast is brought to you by StrongHeartAcademy.com, where no heart is no victory. We are also brought to you by BJJ To Go. If you want to build your game and learn jiu-jitsu, go to bjjtogo.com. Third thing we're brought to you by is Rat Bat. Got rats? Want to kill bats? Kill them with a rat bat. Fourth thing we're brought to you by is hot dog flavored water ingredients. If you want to add it to your smoothie, hot dog flavor ingredient. So today I was going to talk about gifts that I've gotten. One of the cool things about being an instructor, owning my own school, is just the amount of things that people just gifts they give me. And like, I don't know, I don't ask for anything. I'm like, hey, you should, like a teacher should get an apple. That when I was a kid, they used to always say that, you give an apple to the teacher or whatever. But I never expect anything from anybody. You pay for lessons, and I teach you the best of my ability, and I try to provide a place that is safe, clean, good camaraderie, good vibes. That's and teach the best I can. That's my job. So anything more than that, I don't really expect anything. I've received so many gifts over the years. It's crazy. A lot of times people give me, our logo's the octopus. So people give us the octopus stuff. This table you see in some of the videos is an octopus table. Super awesome gift. One of my students, Darius, and his family gave me it. Darius. And I just get gifts. Sometimes I don't even. I got this little thing that someone made. It's like a little octopus out of rubber bands, and I don't remember who gave it to me. It wasn't that long ago either. And but like, is this an expensive thing? No, but someone put the effort and time into doing that. Like, and I know how my time is and how important it is, and like how much I value it, and the fact that someone did this for me is like, it really touches me. Like, I'm very thankful, and I'm very cognitive of what that means, like that someone thought of me and go, you know what, Mike would think that's cool, and gives me that or makes me something. I mean, I've had the gamut of gifts for sure, like not just octopus stuff, but just like, one student, really good friend of mine, gave me a gun. And this would probably freak out some of my New York friends and my Canadian friends, but like, I'm from Arizona. Like, guns are part of the culture here. Whatever you want to say about it, but I was telling him I want this. I'm looking for this particular type of gun. I don't like to discuss what I have, but for a particular reason, for self-defense purposes. And then he was like, yeah. And he had so many that he had like two of the same gun, and he gave me a gun, and like, and that guy's giving me a kayak. He's giving me bicycles, his time. One of the coolest jiu-jitsu gifts ever, he gave me a patch signed by Elio Gracie, Henner Gracie, all these, Hailson, all the brothers, all his sons, Elio's sons, like this old Gracie patch. And I'm not a big Gracie guy, but it's like, those are the founders of jiu-jitsu. Like, it was such a touching gift for me. Like, and I'm just blown away by, like, again, people doing things and giving me things that and sometimes I don't know what to say. I'm like, I don't know. I'm so like almost speechless. And I get like dumbfounded, or like, why I'm not sure that, I'm not saying I don't deserve anything, but there's no expectation for anything. So that when I get things, it's like I'm even more appreciative, I think, because I don't expect anything. And when I get something, it's like, oh man, that's so awesome. Thank you so much. Just the time. People donate time to the school. Moms help out in the school. People help me clean the mats. People help me assist classes. Those are all awesome things that help make Strong Heart as good as it is. That's why it's so good, is the people that are involved, and they like buy in to this thing that we all do together as a community. It's like the community aspect of it. And since I'm like the leader of the community, which I don't try to like project myself as the leader, I try to say we, not me, as much as possible, because it's what it is. Is a community isn't a person. A community is people. And I've had students buy equipment for the school too. I had a guy buy all these pads, and he's like, the only thing you can't tell anyone that I did it. Just selflessness. Like, no, doesn't want any recognition. Just enjoys the place and wants to make it better. And he was willing to buy me all these pads for the school, and I'm like, man, that's so nice, and I'm so thankful for those people. And I'm not gonna call his name out because that was his wishes, but I've gotten constantly, all the time, people bring me stuff. One of my students, he made me tamales. So if you're not from Arizona or from the Southwest, like Christmas tamales is like a thing, or holiday tamales. He brought in some, I think they were pork. I don't know. I hate them regardless. They were delicious. And he brought me a big thing of them. They'll make it as a family. And there's just, when people make you food, when people make you anything, it's, again, it's the time. Like, you put time into that. If you have extra money and you can give things away, you can buy things, it's not as much. It's still awesome. It's still awesome. But when someone like makes something, like even my kids, when my kids make me a picture, I don't care what it looks like. It's something more special about it, that you took the time and creativity to do this thing for me. So when he gave me tamales, I was just so happy. And like, he kept asking me, did you eat them yet? Did you eat them? I kept leaving them at the school. I have a refrigerator here. And then finally I brought them home. I like ate almost all of them in 2 days. And there's probably 20 tamales. I was like pounded. That was like my dinner for a couple of days, and lunches. And then, another guy, Nick, and that was Steve. Steve Gonzalez made me those, and his family. I'm sure his wife made them or helped or as well. And she's awesome too, Raquel. And then Nick here, he likes to make a lot of Italian dishes. He's an Italian guy, and he's made me a bunch of different people in the school too. That's the other thing. People like help other people in my school too, not just me. That's, which is awesome. That's the community. Like, that's what I want. That's what I've wanted to, like, always wanted to have and make. And when my first jiu-jitsu school I ever went into, I trained with a guy named Jerry Levita, and it was just rough. There was a few guys were homies, and if you weren't part of that, like, then you're just getting smashed. White belts were just getting smashed. The only reason I stayed is because I'm just a stubborn son of a bitch. Like, that's what I am. Like, I don't. So I made it through the grind part, and I don't mind grind. I wrestled, but there was just the community wasn't a good community in my opinion. So we were tough and we were good at jiu-jitsu. And then again, I had strong bonds with the guys. Once you made it to a certain level, they're like, okay, you're part of the thing. But like, the lower people never felt that. You had to make it through the hard times to get to this other spot. And I'm like, I don't want that. Like, I want to be inviting from the day you walk in the door. You're like, this is the place I want to be. And I feel like I have that here, and I'm so thankful for that, And back to what I was saying is the food. Nick has made me some Italian dishes, some sausage, some lasagna, and that's my favorite. I love lasagna, so good. And then for Thanksgiving, he goes, "Hey, Mike, what's your favorite pie?" And I knew he wasn't gonna know what I was talking about because I'm Mennonite. I grew up Mennonite. They're like Amish light, is what I like to say. But they are cookers. They like to cook and bake, and they make pies, some of the best pies in the world. So um, when I when I told him shoe fly pie, and he was like, "What is that?" I'm like, "Just look it up." And so he found a recipe, which I think is hard to do. If you go to Rock Pies, which is a famous pie place in Arizona off I-17, people drive by and get pies. They won't make you. They know what it is, but they won't make you there. They're like, "Oh yeah, Mennonites make that." You can't get it. If you want to get it, you're gonna have to know a Mennonite in Arizona, and even them, like some of the younger ones, I'm not sure they can cook as well as the older generation. Or you can get it. I've thought about this, flying it in from Pennsylvania. You can do that. Overnight it. Pay someone to send it in the mail. Overnight it, but it's so expensive. But man, it's probably worth it. It's so good. It's like kind of like a pecan pie without the pecans. It's just so sugary. It's so delicious. It's not good for you. So he made me. He comes in and we do a Thanksgiving open mat. He made 3 pies, and he gave me the shoe fly pie. I ate the whole thing by myself. I did not share it at all. I ate it. I had let someone try it, but I ate it all. And yeah, it's just super rad that people will do that for me. So I just want to talk about, like, I'm sure other instructors get the same thing, teachers and things. It's just another nice thing when I'm ever having a hard day. I look at my school and I see the things in my school of, like, just the people have done for me, and I'm like, oh man, that's even this plant on the wall that was given to me too. You see sometimes some of the podcasts I have these plants. That's a real plant. It's not fake. Someone was moving and they had all these indoor plants and they donated to the school. So I have indoor plants in my gym, which just makes the gym look nicer. I appreciate it. And I couldn't even list all the things that people have given me and done for me, and people have helped me move when I moved my house. Like, just this is the community aspect of it. And sometimes people join jiu-jitsu and they're looking for community, but they don't know that that's what they're looking for. And the way the modern world is where we're getting more isolated and more isolated with COVID. I don't want to turn this into a COVID podcast, but with COVID, even people working from home and they don't leave their house as much. Humans are herd animals, and we need the brotherhood, sisterhood. You just do. And people try to tell themselves they don't. I'm a lone wolf. But I always say lone wolf is a dead wolf, because wolves hunt in packs, and a lone wolf will usually starve to death. If it gets injured, there's no other one in the pack to help it out. It hunts something and gets hurt, it's starving to death. So lone wolf is a silly concept in my opinion. It's a community. That's what gets you through life, is a community, and gets you through the ups, gets you through the downs. And in a community, you are expected to do your part. You don't just get the blessings and receiving. You have to give too. And so, I try to promote that in the gym, giving not just to our own plus, but in the community. We try to do as much charity as possible. So it just, again, I just want to share, like, that feeling, and I'm sure a lot of instructors have the same thing, but I've been doing it for so long that I've gotten so many gifts over the years that sometimes I feel bad when I look at something. I'm like, I don't remember who gave me that, because it's been so many things. And then kids, I used to encourage the kids to draw me pictures, and we put them in the walls here. We used to put them in the bathrooms too. And I was cleaning out yesterday, actually, cleaning the school, and I threw some away, and it makes me feel so guilty to throw a kid's picture away. It's like, and I'm sure those kids don't even remember doing it, but there were some that were just like, I think there's students that weren't even they're no longer with us. They moved away or whatever, and but I always felt guilty, like, even though that they're not here anymore, I still feel guilty, because it's like that kid poured their creative imagination into that and go, here, like, I want you to have this. And I think that's a super powerful thing to do, and it's good to teach kids to do that so that they get this use of think of others and giving to others, because again, I feel like society is getting so individualistic and less community oriented. It's all about me, and what I think, and I don't care what you think. I care what I think, and you need to think like me. And it's like, that's not how communities work, you know? So anyway, this is a short pod. I just wanted to kind of just talk about my blessings and my thankfulness of all the things I've gotten over the years from everybody. And you know, like I mean, so much, like Suns tickets. I've got Suns tickets before, like 9th row Suns tickets. I'm a huge Suns fan. It's the only sport I follow other than jiu-jitsu or MMA. And so it's just so many cool things. I could just go on and on and on and on and on. I mean, I could be here for a 2-hour podcast listening to the things that people have done for me and given me. But I just want to say thank you to everyone that does it, and know that I appreciate it. And if I forget, please forgive me for forgetting sometimes. You know, it's just been so much, and just know that all of them are appreciated. And there is no expectation that anyone in the school ever has to give me anything. So also don't think of this as like, hey guys, guess what? These guys gave me something. You need to give me. You don't need to give me anything. I don't need anything. I'm without need. I'm very thankful, and you know, it's getting into the Christmas season now, so I like to think of giving season, not receiving season. So appreciate it, and have a good one. Peace.
Let me talk for just a second, help me feel that sense of rhythm. Find the meanings in our bearings and discover this position as a stage along the way. Another rung to the ladder, either stalling or you're climbing, and I'd rather beat the ladder. Instead of getting fatter, let the footsteps resume naturally.